Strzyga's night. In ancient European mythology, no demon, night horror, or monster was more feared than the Strzyga. In the folklore of the Slavic people, Strzyga and also Strigoi had various forms and went by different names. Each region had its own peculiarity and helped build this myth that is as ancient as it is terrifying. Legends date back to classical antiquity, being present in stories, documents, and even coffin lids. The Greeks known it as Strzyga, a winged monster that symbolized bad omens, tragedies, and imminent death. They were also capable of transforming into huge black birds. When they flew over a house, someone there was destined to die. Black birds were so feared that the Greeks avoided them at all costs. In the small village of Kazimierz Dolny, in the heart of Poland, full moon nights have always been shrouded in mystery and fear. Residents whispered about Strzyga, a dark creature with huge wings and sharp nails, which went out to hunt humans and animals, sucking their blood to the last drop. Few dared to stay out of the house on those nights, but for Lukasz, a bold young man, these stories were nothing more than old people's superstitions. It was a full moon night, but also the night of the big ball in the city. Lukasz was excited to meet his friends and maybe dance with Katarzyna, the bright-eyed young woman who had captured his heart.
Mom, I'm leaving for the dance. Don't worry, I'll be back before midnight.
Careful, son. Remember the stories. The moon is full today.
They're just legends, Mom. I'll be back safely.
The ballroom was full of music and laughter. Lukasz met his friends, and together, they danced and laughed until late. Finally, he got a moment alone with Katarzyna. Lukasz and Katarzyna walked hand in hand along the road that led to the village. The full moon illuminated the path, and the conversation flowed light and natural. But as they approached the village, Katarzyna felt a chill.
Did you hear that, Lukasz? It sounded like wings beating.
It must just be a night bird. Don't worry.
Lukasz, shouting. But before he could react, the Strzyga descended upon him with a terrifying roar. Suddenly, a dark figure passed quickly over their heads. Lukasz looked up and his blood ran cold. It wasn't a bird. It was Strzyga. Panicked, but Lukasz was knocked to the ground. The Strzyga dug its sharp nails into Lukasz's shoulders and quickly sucked his blood. Lukasz's scream was silenced within seconds. Katarzyna, in the distance, looked back and saw the terrible scene before running to the village for help. When the sun finally rose, the residents of Kazimierz Dolny found Lukasz's mutilated body. Horror was written on everyone's faces. News of Lukasz's death spread quickly. Residents gathered in the main square to discuss what to do. Village elder.
It's been a long time since Strzyga attacked. We need to protect our village. No one should go out at night, especially on full moon nights.
Determined to protect the village, a group of men decided to hunt Strzyga. They prepared themselves with silver weapons, believing this was the creature's only weakness. Deep in the forest, the group found Strzyga's cave. The air was heavy and smelled of death. They got into formation, ready for combat. Suddenly, a roar echoed through the cave. The Strzyga appeared, its huge wings flapping furiously. The battle was fierce. Strzyga attacked with speed and force, but the men were prepared. The silver weapons gleamed in the moonlight that streamed through the cave opening. The men attacked with everything they had, but Strzyga was more powerful than they imagined. One by one, the men fell beneath its sharp claws, digging its sharp nails into each one's chest and sucking the last thread of life out of it. The village of Kazimierz Dolny was never the same. The bodies of the other men were found in the cave, mutilated and lifeless. Katarzyna, traumatized by the horror she had witnessed, left the village, unable to bear the memories. The few remaining residents lived in constant fear, always locked in their homes on full moon nights. The legend of the Strzyga had become a terrifying reality, and Kazimierz Dolny was doomed to live under the creature's shadow, never finding peace or safety. And so, the Strzyga continued its hunt, a dark and immortal presence whose hunger could never be satiated. Even today, there are places where belief in such beings remains unshakable. Traditional festivals are conducted with the aim of keeping these supernatural entities at bay and preserving regional customs. Witches still fly in these places, lifted to the heavens by great owl wings, and people maintain a healthy respect for these old traditions.